Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, whose life am I really living? Are your choices, your dreams, or even your fears truly yours? Or are they shaped by the generations of expectations, beliefs, and silent rules you never consciously agreed to? In our previous episodes, we talked about what generational trauma is, how to calm our nervous system, because before we can change anything, we need to understand where it comes from and create a sense of safety in our boundaries. So now we take the next step. So today we're uncovering the generational patterns that shape the beliefs about success, love, self-worth, and how we can begin to break free from them. So many of the beliefs we carry didn't start with us. They were passed down through family, through culture, through society, shaping how we define success, love, and self-worth. So let's go a little bit deeper with some examples that come up a lot in my sessions, and I have experienced myself. So for instance, maybe in your family, rest was seen as laziness. So now you feel guilty to slow down and taking time for you. Or love meant sacrifice. So you believe you have to put others first and to actually feel worthy. And then you struggle to set boundaries. And then you end up depleted and depressed. So these patterns aren't just ideas. They're invisible scripts running in the background, influencing every decision that we make. Remember, we have a subconscious program. So let's think about it. What is one belief or beliefs that you grew up with that still impact you today? Write that down. Take your time with this. So keep that in your notebook or on a paper that you just wrote that on. Keep that always in the back burner because we're going to move forward with this. So generational patterns don't just live in our minds. They shape our emotions and our behaviors. Remember, what you believe you think and what you think you feel and what you feel you will act upon. So if you were raised to put others first, saying no might make you feel selfish. If success meant constant achievement, slowing down might feel like you're failing. But here's the truth. You're allowed to challenge these beliefs. You're allowed to choose a new story for you. So I've asked you in this segment to what was valued in your family, what was emphasized, all of the questions. Take your time with this, put it in segments, and take your time answering them. This is going to be very informative. It's going to give you a lot of awareness. So now that you understand what was normal or considered normal in your family, you're going to start understanding what your patterns are. And now we're going to move forward to the other step. Okay, so let's get real. Awareness is great, right? If you don't have awareness, you're not going to understand that you need to change. But action is what creates the change. That's why we're going to do the generational audit exercise. That's a deep dive into understanding and identifying the patterns that have shaped you, and then deciding which ones to keep, which ones to change, and which ones to break. This exercise isn't just about understanding the past, but it's also about aligning with who you really are authentically. What was considered normal in my family? Ask yourself that question. We never talked about emotions, or success was measured by how hard we worked. What values were emphasized? An example would be good people put others first or achieve at all costs. How were our emotions handled? Were emotions openly expressed or were they suppressed? What emotions were most acceptable to show? I want you to write down these patterns without judgment, just what you feel. Just observe them for now. So now we're going to understand and identify the repeated patterns. So now let's look for the patterns in your family history. These might be behaviors, attitudes, or beliefs that have been passed down for generations. So ask yourself, what was modeled in relationships? For example, were women expected to sacrifice? Were men supposed to never show vulnerability? How was work and success viewed? An example, was burnout a badge of honor? How did our family handle conflict? Did they avoid tough conversations and hold grudges? I know that one. These patterns don't come out of nowhere though. They're repeated over and over until someone, maybe you, chooses to break the cycle. So now we're going to map things out in a family tree. So like really create a family tree. Like if you were a little kid and writing where your parents came from, because this is going to help you see things a little bit clearer. When you write things down, when you put it on paper, it becomes clearer to you. So you can start off with grandmother from paternal side, grandfather from maternal side, etc., uncles, cousins, kids, things like that. Start writing and creating that family tree. And then with that family tree, and when you start identifying the people, your parents, your grandparents, write a characteristic next to them of what has been, what you notice from them. Is it perfectionism? Is it workaholic? Is it no emotional connection, like really shut down emotionally, conflict avoidant? Start putting these characteristics next to each individual family member in your family tree. Okay. So then what I want you to do is see if you resonate with any of these characteristics that you've identified for each member of your family, and see how you feel with that. Do you resonate with that? Do you see those patterns? Going back to writing down the patterns that I asked you previously. Do you identify with that? How is that affecting your everyday life? Is it giving you a positive result? Is it stopping you from moving forward? Is it inhibiting you? Is it preventing you from growth? And this is where you start learning what values and what generational systems and beliefs are good for you, which ones you need to evaluate and either remove or just reshape. And which ones you just want to completely break free with, and you say, you know what, this is not going to be for me. This is not beneficial. So now let's decide what to keep, what to change, and what to break. So here's where the real transformation happens. Based on your audit, decide, what beliefs do you want to keep? I value my family's work ethics. That's good. What beliefs do you want to change? For example, I want to stop avoiding conflict. What cycles do you want to break? For example, I want to stop suppressing emotions. I want you to write specific actions you can take, like practicing open communication, setting boundaries, or working with a therapist. So I want you to look back at all of the answers from all of the questions that I asked you in this video. And then I want you to really think, the beliefs that are inherent in me are powerful, but so is also changing the ones that don't fit. Now I want to hear from you. What is the inherited belief you are ready to change? Let's start the conversation. And if you missed our previous episodes, generational trauma and calming the nervous system, go check them out now, because understanding these foundations make this work so much easier. If this episode resonated with you, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for more content like this.